Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Friedman. Punished by questions. Welcome to Tone Talk. I hope you guys had a good week. I've been sick, had a cold,
or COVID.
or COVID. Yeah, one or the other. I've come stock with these things and
Mind-altering substances.
yeah, Vicks. Yeah, actually, the Robitussin. I don't know, man. I went to go pick up food earlier. That's why I was running late, and I left my wallet at home. Got all the way there.
I hate that.
Oh man, I walked right into the place. I'm like, fuck. And so I called my wife. I said, if you mind, I'm gonna come home. I go, can you just leave and go pick up the food? She's like, all right. So, she's like, a little too much cough syrup. I'm like, yeah. So
I have cough syrup tonight. It's called Glenfiddich 15. It's actually quite good.
That's cool.
I'm not drinking very much of that, but just a little.
Yeah. The 15 is. I never drank Glenfiddich. Always.
Actually, the 15 is quite good. Actually,
yeah.
To be honest, I mean, I poured it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. That's cool.
That's cool. That's cool. I want to thank our last guest, Rob Cunningham from Daddario.
Lots of information about strings.
Yeah.
No. In fact, now cool. I got to send him an email because I need some like nickels.
Yeah, I bought a pair. I'm waiting for him to send them out. But I went out on Amazon and just bought some nickels and I threw it on my Cali, and I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just kind of takes a little bit of the edge off, a little high end off.
Yeah, just a little of it sounds more like you played them for a few minutes.
Yeah,
played them a little bit more, wear them in a little bit.
Yeah, and I also picked up. What else did I get? I don't know if I'm gonna like them, but I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try it. I picked up the Pro Steels. They're like super bright round. I figured, all right, maybe I'll try that on a guitar that maybe it's like darker.
Probably good on a guitar if you had. I don't know if you probably don't, but if you had any guitars that were tuned down a lot, probably be good for that. Like with heavy strings, that if you tune it down, it'd probably be good for the cutting, because that gets a little murky when you do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then I got the Balanced Tensions.
Oh yeah. He was saying he loves those.
And these are 9 through 40, like the Eds, So I figured, yeah. So I figured I'm going to try them. It's weird. They're 9, 12, 15, 22, 30, and 40.
Yeah. That's how it balances the tension with the gauge of the strings or whatever.
Yeah. It's very
good for tremolo guitars.
Exactly. Or for balance, would it be for
especially guitars that have a stock bridge, like a regular tremolo.
When you say a regular tremolo, what do you mean?
Like a Fender style tremolo or something.
Oh, okay. But are you talking about somewhat floating?
Well, I mean, it's good for that too. I mean, he kind of explained all about it on the show.
I forget. So
you got to go back and watch it again.
I know. Oh man,
maybe there's some snippets we can make videos out of.
There are, we really should do that. I should do that. I know you're not going to do it.
I don't even know how to do it.
I know very little about video editing. Trust me, and that's why I avoid it like the plague. There are some guys who are amazing at it. Obviously, a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to say hi to everybody. I see Jason Tong in the chat.
Hey, Jason.
John DeShane. I see Vinny.
Vinny.
Vincent. What's going on? Our usual. I'll get to all the questions and stuff. Let's say hi to our sponsors. We've got fixpedalboard.com. So fixpedalboards.com.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep. I think he updated it.
He did. He added some of the hinged risers to it with a little. There's a little cut over there on the left. There's little cutouts on the side.
Oh yeah.
that you can, get custom cutouts and have your little locking jacks or whatever for your pedal board. And then there's also a version of that mounts to a temple board, designed specifically for that. If you click on that,
this one,
yeah, if you click on it, you then get one that's mounted for temple audio board specifically, and then shows some of the D-connector plates that you can put on it.
Very cool.
In the center here. Yeah, very cool. More stuff coming.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. And then we also have Sweetwater.com. Make sure you guys check out Sweetwater. Our link below. Please purchase any of your Sweetwater gear from them. I actually ordered just today because of a couple guys in the Grooms Noodler forum. I ordered the EVH Iconic Combo 40 watt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I figured, you know what? Fuck it. Why not?
They're saying the combo's cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're praising the amp. A lot of people.
No, it sounds good. I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's a great budget friendly amp that can get some great tones. I don't.
Yeah. I've seen some good videos.
James Brown did a cool job with it.
Yeah, James is a cool guy.
Yeah.
So
we love James.
He's one of our probably top rated shows that we've done.
James is great. It's good hang.
Yeah, he was. I love when
good
he
old
says,
boy.
Yeah, yeah. Better than where you fuckers are. I love it. That was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sweetwater.com. Make sure you guys check them out, please. And so we'll get to questions today. Make sure
Sweetwater. Aren't we talking about Sweetwater's new deal?
Oh, dude, you are so right. I'm like spacing.
Sweetwater's got a new. Are you gonna pull it up on the screen or anything?
I will. Just give me 1 second.
Sweetwater has a new option like Reverb, basically, to sell used gear in the safety of the site that they've created. And I was looking around on it. It's pretty damn cool, and I think they're offering a promotion right now that there's if you were to take your payouts and Sweetwater like on a Sweetwater card or something on Sweetwater money, basically you have zero fees.
There you go.
So if you're looking to flip some stuff and then buy some new stuff, that's a great option.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I was shocked when they let me know about it. I was like, wow, I had no clue that they were doing it.
It's a good. I mean, it's it's cool. I glanced around at it, and it's up and going, and they got a bunch of stuff on there, and I'm sure it will only expand. As the word gets out about it. We need some more selling platforms. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. That's especially given the light of some of the selling platforms, the fees have been going up and up, and then
I mean, I have a different look on the fees. I kind of like. Can you imagine trying to deal with the kind of infrastructure that you need to create this site? And the problems that, are constantly, presented to you and shipping and things.
It's true.
I mean, it deserves a certain amount of money, I think. And, some people might agree, but disagree, but, it costs money.
It does.
Yeah. It has to.
There's no doubt about it. I think the thing that really sucks, at least this particular year, is because the over $600 claiming if you sell.
Correct. It just makes your. I mean, yes, but it just makes your taxes harder because you have to prove what you purchased that for, so you don't get charged for the whole amount. If you took a loss, you're not going to get charged anything. But that whole thing is kind of a nightmare.
Exactly.
And I have no idea what the policies are at the Sweetwater thing. I would assume they have to follow the same policy.
I would imagine.
I don't know. I don't know exactly totally how that works yet with them. So I don't want to say either way.
No, but they are until October 31st. There's no fees when you select Sweetwater gift card as your payout.
Yeah.
So,
which might be great if you're trying to turn some gear to buy a new piece of gear. You know,
definitely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people would want to do that, right?
Everyone's always doing that. Yeah. I think that's a cool thing. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to liquidate and take the money, that doesn't work for you. But you know, at least it gets it out there for you.
Yep. So gearexchange.com. Check it out. Sweetwater, always thinking ahead. Good stuff. All right. Let's get to some questions.
A whole bunch already.
Oh, there's a bunch of super chats also.
Oh yeah. Let's start in.
All right. Let me get to
punish me.
Okay. All right. Let's go to a few before we get to the super chats. JTG. Thank you, man. Volume pedal after an overdrive pedal and before a Friedman mini amp for more control and turning the master volume louder. That's probably a waste of time and money, ?
Well, I mean, that's really just going to control the amount of level you're hitting the front of the amp with. So, I mean, if the Friedman amp's already distorted and you're hitting the volume pedal with an overdrive, like you said, that's really just, it's like turning up and down the output level on your drive pedal. I don't really see the point of that, really.
Could you put a...
I mean, if you want, I mean, it would work. I mean, and it would dictate how much you're boosting into the Friedman.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be that cool.
Mm-hmm. Dustin Wilborn. Hey guys, I have a butter slacks and can't be bothered to lug it back and forth to rehearsal. What would be the best way to get butter slacks channel 3 tone for practice at home? HBE synergy module ? Thank you.
Well, yeah, the butter slacks channel 3 is a lot of distortion, a lot of gain. You know, the BEOD pedal will do that kind of amounts of gain. You might just be able to get away with practice at home with a BEOD pedal, to be honest. Now, just the HBE alone in the synergy modules isn't as much as gain as channel 3. It's missing the saturation circuit that is on the butter slack. So it's the butter slacks channel 3 is like an HBE circuit roughly with a saturation circuit on top. So lots.
Yeah, lots of
and a few tweaks. It's not exactly that, but yeah.
Right. Pedro Lorenco, what's up? Hey Dave, thanks for the tips on modding the Runt 50. Loving it. I'll watch the episode tomorrow because it will start at 2 a.m. in Portugal.
Well, that makes sense. I don't really remember what I told you to do, but cool.
Stephen Douglas, good evening all. Dig these Ask Dave episodes. Always seem to learn something. Awesome. Thanks, Stephen.
It's all based on what kind of good questions you guys ask.
That's true.
So remember, you can always ask questions about rigs, pedal boards, racks, amps, whiskey choices, whatever you'd like. Because you know, I've been doing racks and pedal boards for, you know, all sorts of artists for a million years. So in fact, since I was a kid. So the wealth of knowledge sitting in my brain. Need to let it out every once in a while.
Let's let it out
before my head explodes.
Mark Oromi, what's up, man? Dave, when's the next Friedman stuff coming out? And where's the Friedman t-shirts, hats, zip-ups, etc. coming out?
I have to do the official Friedman merch site, which I plan on doing shortly. I want to get a couple more t-shirt designs though, just for fun, so you can have some options. There's some t-shirts I'd like to do, but I don't think I can. You guys would probably love to buy them. but I think I might get some slack for it.
Yeah, I would love to do the one from Lynch.
I know that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I would really like to do that, but I think I will get in trouble.
Oh, especially today.
But
no.
Well, of course, I'm talking about a real thing. If there's smoke coming out of an amp,
Yeah, of course. We've all seen it.
Yeah,
we've all seen it happen. Dave Friedman for president.
Oh boy,
2024.
2024. Dave Friedman for president. Okay, awesome, fantastic. Just what I don't necessarily want to do.
Jason Tong, what's up, man? Hey, all.
Jason, what's going on in Australia? It's early there.
You got a vote from No Ticket. He said I'd vote for him. So,
well, our choices haven't been the greatest in the world.
No, that's for sure. That is for sure. Scott Brockway, I'm wearing my It Depends shirt. How about you? Awesome, dude.
I'm not wearing any Depends. Sorry.
We've got John Deshane. I want to get to. So, did you answer any Friedman products coming soon?
Oh, I guess I didn't answer that, did I?
No.
There is things coming, and they will be over the course of. Well, the one I can say for sure is the SS is launching like any day now. So you'll see some videos for that. There's a great video Michael Nielsen did, and another video that's quite a long chat with Steve and I. It's a long video. It's mostly talking about the stuff, and then Michael's is more in depth with the playing and tones and things. So they'll complement each other, and then later there'll be some other videos that'll be coming forward too. And then other than that, I mean, there's a few other updates to a couple products that are coming, and there's a kind of a really special product coming maybe by sometime this year still, which I can't say much about.
All right. Yingza Lynch. Hey, Groom Noodlers.
Hey, man. How are you, Jim?
Oh, you know Jim?
I know Jim.
Yep. I know Jim on Facebook.
An amp of mine.
Oh, cool.
Small box, if I recall, with a SAT switch.
Congrats.
Yep.
Congrats.
Had it for a long time now.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's get to our super chats. Let's see. I'm scrolling.
Wasn't there more than just two? Why do I just see two now?
No, there's got to be more, but I'm scrolling and I don't see them yet. Oh, here's one from Roger Dat. Aloha Friday, gents. Thank you for providing this valuable service. Oh, no problem. I enjoy it. Dave, please speak to latest in tube production, shortages, quality, etc.
It's not too bad anymore. For a minute there, it looked really grim. I mean, you can get some Russian tubes still at a quite inflated price. As in, whatever I paid for, say, a 12AX7 is now double that figure. So that's bad. JJs are still in short supply, but they are delivering some. Those are eking out. Eventually, they're going to catch up, I think. And then there's new products from PS Vane that have come online that are newer Chinese products that appear to be we're using a lot of those, and they appear to be great and they sound great. I'm actually more happy with the tone of them than I was previously to what I was using right before. So yeah, it's good. It's fine.
Where's the PS Vane made?
It's China. And then later this year, or the beginning of the first of the year, then Shugong is back up and running then too, also in China.
Well,
who were the the main China tube maker.
China's not looking too good right now either.
Awesome.
Let's not go. I won't go down the political route, but it's not looking good for China right now, unfortunately. I hope we can still get tubes from them.
If we can't, we got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
well,
problem.
We have a bigger problem than that. Almost everything in this world
Oh,
is
I know.
from there. So
that's true. I can't see them stopping that though.
No, that's not going to happen. I mean, the trade, no, not going to happen.
Probably not.
I mean, their economy is based on the trade.
Exactly.
So, I mean, almost everything we have and
electronics. I know.
More than just electronics.
Oh, I know. There's tons of shit, but
and electronics for cars and everything.
Yeah. Vincent, Dave, it might be cool to video you modding my Egnator build to a Plexi.
Great. Who's gonna? Do I have to video it? I'm a shitty. I can't edit. I don't know how. I don't do that. Maybe if I can video it and send it, and someone can edit it. There we go.
You can send it to me.
Yeah, there's probably someone even better though. Okay, any video editors out there that would love to do some stuff for no money?
Well, let us know.
Or minimal money, or a favor.
Favor, yeah.
You never know.
L. Scott Music. It's shows like this that will keep me guitarified, because yesterday I sprained my left wrist and dislocated my pinky after a fall while running from attacking Yellow Jackets. Oh man.
Oh my God. What the hell happened, man? Were you on a job and the Yellow Jackets were attacking?
Oh, that sucks.
Shit.
I hate hurting my hand yeah, it sucks. I feel better, man.
Sounds like you'd be okay.
Hopefully you didn't get stung either. Excuse my sucking on a Vicks vapor drop, guys.
I know all about taking medication, because a week ago I was taking a lot of it.
Yeah,
I got COVID like a couple weeks ago, basically.
And where were you again?
Well, I had COVID for probably about a week without knowing I had COVID, because it wasn't registering. And then I went on vacation. So I had COVID on vacation at Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Well, to anybody in Lake Tahoe, if you got COVID,
sorry.
It might have been Dave. Scott Brockway. Tone Talk. If I wanted a mini Friedman, which one should I get for closest to JCM 800 tone without too much gain? Well, there's only one mini Friedman. Unless I mean,
sorry,
there's only one Friedman mini, unless you're talking about the smaller amps.
Well, there's lots of wait.
If I wanted a mini Friedman, which one should I get closest to JCM 800 tone?
Okay, you're probably talking the 20 watt amps then. So in the 20 watt amps, I mean, none of them are exact, but maybe a runt. Oh, well, yes, definitely a new runt of new production. Because the boost switch goes to a lower gain, which is very reminiscent of an 800. So I would say that has to be newest production though.
What'd you change?
I just changed it so it went to a lower gain structure.
Okay.
So it would be a very similar circuit to an 800. Not exactly, but similar.
Modern Vintage. Dave, if you made a custom single channel amp based on a BE channel, would it feel or sound any more pure, direct, or anything as a single channel amp versus the 3-channel 100 Deluxe?
So you're basically talking about the Phil X amp.
Pretty much.
So yeah, to be honest, it sounds a little different because there's zero there's zero compromises to get the 3 channels. So there's nothing extra in there, it's just the pure path, the signal path. So it's a little different. Is it radically different? No. A tiny bit. And in fact, if you put 2 and 2 together, and used an amp switcher and was switching between it, you could probably dial them in to be exactly the same, to be honest.
Okay.
You can trick yourself into believing anything.
The amp switcher helps. Metropolis is back with a new amp video. Oh, yeah?
Well, they never really left. He's got a new amp coming and stuff, so he posted a little tidbit.
And
George back on again.
I'd love to have George back on. Calviopus. Did I say that right? Calviopus. Thanks for the super chat. I sent a super chat earlier, but evidently it didn't go through. Sorry to hear that. I'll repost what I said in the chat, except for the best show ever. Keep it up, fellas. Man, thank you.
Well, thanks for paying us twice. You didn't have to do that, but we'll watch for your thing in here.
Yeah, definitely. Vinny says Metropolis DVL1 looks like a really cool amp.
Yeah, it seems like we had some super chats and they disappeared. No, like normally I can find them, but like there were a couple extras. I thought that
they just kind of, I don't know why they're not like up at the top, but they're there though. I still see them.
Okay.
Let's see. Jason Tong says, Dave, I'm very interested in your views on why Marshall started using a 0.68 UF cathode bypass cap on V2A in the 1987-1959 spec amps over the years.
Why they stopped or started? When did they stop? Oh, well, I guess when they started, I understand that. I mean, that was part of the the lead spec, so to speak, the brighter lead spec, because there's lots of 1987s, earlier 50s that had basically kind of halfway in between, right? It had the shared cathode, big fat cap on the first tube, but then it still had the I've seen some that have the 0022 cap on the output of the first lead stage. I've seen some that don't. Sometimes I think it was whatever they had on hand is what got used. I saw a Marshall once that had no 100K resistors in it and only had 82K resistors. I'm assuming that's totally because they ran out. And 82K was the closest value. I've seen a lot of weird stuff over the years.
And you sure it was just stock or it wasn't changed?
Oh, it was stock. Yeah, it was original. Yeah.
Well,
I fixed it, but
I
saw another amp that had all 0.1 caps across the whole entire board.
Wow.
It's like, we ran out of the others. Let's just use the 0.1s. Okay.
Did it sound like shit?
It wasn't very good.
Gertha1134. How do I switch channels on a Syn 2 with a Helix rack and the Helix Control foot controller?
Well, the Syn 2 just switches with program changes. So if you send a program change, I don't know exactly how that works with the Helix, but if you're sending any program changes, MIDI program changes, you can switch your Syn 2.
It should be possible.
I'm positive it's possible. It's definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Christopher Crooms. Thank you, man. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. I'm new to Park amps. Can you talk a little about the history of Park amps? Do the new ones sound as good as the old ones? Are they like the originals?
Well, Mitch Colby makes the Park amps now, and they're quite a great amp. He has various models and different eras and different styles of the Park amps. So Park originally, they sound amazing. He does a great job with it. They look great. Park originally was an offshoot. I don't know if I can tell this story exactly, but it was an offshoot of Marshall. And I forgot the reasoning why it was an offshoot of Marshall. It had something to do with some distribution and some stores and things like that. I mean, you can do a little search on Google, and I'm sure you get the whole park story. Most of the parks were kind of derivatives or the same as a lot of Marshalls. So I mean, there was Park 50 that was essentially like a Marshall 50, and they used the same transformers and things like that. So essentially, it was a Marshall under a different brand name. They looked really cool, though.
Yeah,
I think the look was better, and in fact, that's where I stole my offset thing. I always liked how a park looked, so I stole the offset chassis and the logo on the left, kind of thing. That's where that came from, and that just because I loved it.
Was Townsend one of the first people to use them?
No,
no,
he was Marshall.
So who was using Park?
No one really that comes to mind was using Park.
Okay.
It was just for a specific store. I'm sorry, I don't have this exact info, but I think it was for a specific distribution or a different store, something that they did. I'm gonna have to look that up exactly because I forgot. I can't relate the story.
Gotcha. Modern Vintage Dave, how would a 412 with Alnico creams sound versus the standard V30 Greenback 412 mix? Are they closer to any other speaker in tone? Are they close to any other speaker in tone?
Alnico creams are kind of unique. I know there's a friend of mine, Reza, that's out there that always uses Alnico creams, and he uses it for heavy sounds too. I personally sort of like the V30 Greenback combo mix better, but it's not to say that the Alnico creams don't sound great. So, do they sound the same? They definitely don't sound the same. So, it's the best I can do. I actually haven't personally loaded a 412 with Alnico creams and had it in my shop, so to speak. But lots of people have, and they're quite happy with it.
I know they're expensive.
They're definitely going to cost you for sure.
Yep.
Like the upcharge for us to deliver a cabinet with those is insane.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because they're expensive.
It's really expensive. It's probably $150 more per speaker, right?
Or if not more, yeah. But for us to get it and for us to load it, and
Key 8 UV I don't know. Thank you. Hey fellas, taking Bruce Egnator's teaching only class this month. Oh,
that's
awesome.
Great.
I'm beyond excited. Hey Dave, will polyester versus polypropylene orange drops have difference in my slow clone?
Oh, okay. A lot of difference in capacitors. Initially you might think so, but in reality, like I always say, use an amp switcher to do any listening to anything, because you can do it in real time and switch between two things. And once you do that, you realize that if I just turn the knobs ever so slightly different, you might get exactly the same tone. So remember that. I mean, it could be very slightly different, but you might get the same tone. So I haven't tried that exactly. So good question. But I don't think it's going to be that huge of a difference.
Okay. Tobias Ryan, thanks, man. Great show, guys. Thank you. Any thoughts on a 100-watt Marshall Silver Jubilee reissues? Craving some slash tones, if no good. Any cool alternatives? I had one.
The reissues are good. They're really well made. Probably better than the originals.
They're cool amps.
They sound the same, or seem to sound the same to me. I mean, I worked on a few of new ones that Slash had actually, and they seem to sound the same.
I felt like they could use a little bit more gain.
Yeah, but that's not what it's about.
I know,
That's the
exactly.
thing. I mean, in fact, with the Silver Jubilee, you want to pull the gain back and turn the volume up,
Right.
because
Right.
that's really the tone of it. When it gets too high, it just gets mucky and
Yeah.
yucky.
Yeah. Well, it's JCM 800. That's what it is, really, right?
Well, I mean, it's a totally different circuit
Is it really?
than anything. Yeah, it's not an 800 at all.
I thought that was okay.
No,
So
it's
that's
not an 800 in the slightest. It's
I
a
had this
completely different circuit. It uses clipping diodes for the distortion.
Well, that's when you pull the thing out, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not 800 at all.
Wow. Okay.
Totally different circuit.
Amazing. I was always under the impression that
No.
a Silver Jubilee was 800 based. All right.
Nope.
Cool. Good to know. Anybody else think that like me, or was I just the stupid one? Yeah. Well, Slash tones, you could definitely get them out of there. That's for sure. Tim Geisey, what does Dave think of companies using cheaper caps and electronics? Get what you pay for?
I mean, what is cheaper caps and electronics? I mean, describe that. What does that mean? I mean, if you're gonna use cheap electrolytic caps, they're gonna fail. I mean, film caps, yeah, there's not that much difference in price between even expensive and cheap film caps. The Synergy mustard caps that are handmade that we use are expensive, but they're not that much different than other caps. They have a little something to them. Made in the U.S. It's really when companies save money, it's not necessarily about the parts like the caps. And I mean, if you use, like I said, cheap electrolytic caps, okay, that can be a problem. But as far as the other components, there's not really like resistors are resistors kind of, and
it's more about the iron.
Caps are kind of like, once you get down from the handmade ones, they're kind of like caps are caps. So it's more about how they designed the PC board. Like, is it a cheap PC board? Is it designed to be the whole thing to be cheap? Does it use cheap pots and things like that? That's more where the where it falls apart,
Right. John Waller, Tone Talk. I just got a vintage 1940s Kiesel H8 small tube amp. 1940s Kiesel. They had brand name Kiesel back then. Any tips on taking proper care of such an old amp?
I mean, it should be gone through and serviced and maybe capped and cleaned and things like that. Other than that, once that's done, you're probably golden for a while. So,
okay,
you know, use it, because if it sits, that's when stuff happens.
Well, good luck with it. Here's Calviepis. It says my comment's too long. I'll just email Dave later. Has to do with a 1967 Super Reverb I just acquired and a 1955 low power twin.
Awesome. Cool. Both those amps sound that's great. Low power twins, awesome, and the Super Reverb is awesome. I love Super Reverbs. I wish I had one. In fact, I've been jonesing for one for a long time. I should actually just find one and buy it.
What's a low power twin? I've never heard of that before.
Tweed twin.
Oh, a tweed twin. Okay.
Low power tweed twin. So it's well, there's high power tweed twins and low power tweed twins. So the low power tweed twin, I think, only has 2 tubes, if I recall, or either that or it's just less voltage. I'll have to review my schematics.
They're expensive.
But they sound more They're more like I mean, Tweed Twins are more like the Tweed Baseman. So they have some what later became Marshall kind of qualities. So it's like kind of put it real simply, it's kind of like a 212 version of a 410 Baseman, kind of. Couple little differences, but
interesting. Okay.
yeah. Sounds great.
Okay. Well, email Dave and he'll help you. Purposeful Porpoise. Thanks for the super chat. Cheers, boys. Dave, Brownface Princeton, 5AR4 plus 6V6 S high sensitivity, 12-inch speaker versus a 5Y3 plus 6V6 GT lower sensitivity speaker.
Oh man,
P12Q, both playing on 10.
How does it sound to you? First of all, I don't generally like Princeton's very push too hard because they tend to get a little ugly. They're probably better off clean. I mean, a 5AR4 is obviously going to give you a little more voltage, a little more headroom. I don't know if it can actually handle that, though. I'm not sure about the specs of the transformer. It might not be able to handle the current of the 5AR4, but the traditionally, I don't know what a 6V6S high sensitivity is either. I mean, is that a JJ 6V6? I mean, what does that mean? I don't know. 6V6 GT. I mean, that could be anything. And the speakers, that's a matter of preference on what you think sounds great in a it's not going to make that much of a difference. I mean, they can. I mean, like, I would put a Celestion Greenback 10 in it.
A 10 or a 12?
Oh, wait, isn't the Princeton? No, the Princeton has a 12, doesn't it? Or is it 10? No, it has a 10, doesn't it?
Well, the brown face, I think it has a 12.
Oh. I'd still put a Celestion in it. I like Celestions with fenders. I think there's something. The Fender speakers always kind of roll off the top end like too round for me. I don't like it. So there's my useless commentary.
Okay. Equinox wants to know about Colombian gold or Afghanistan tie stick.
Sorry, that's not my thing, man. Can't tell you.
I can. I've never tried Afghanistan tie stick.
First of all, how can it be an Afghanistan tie stick? Okay, he's making the shit up.
I mean, you only hear about that stuff in Cheech and Chong movies. And they don't have these names anymore anyway. Nowadays, it's like the Icky Sticky or stupid names. I don't know. I can't come up with any good names. But yeah, the names are pretty stupid these days. Eric Johnson, Dave, did you do a new pedal board or rig for the upcoming Alice in Chain tour?
No, it's the same rig. He's got multiples of that rig, so it's not changing.
Oh man, I'm dying over here. It seems like whenever it hits like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock, I start feeling like shit. I don't know why.
I have COVID.
I'll test afterward. Guys, you can't get sick from me. So, hey Dave, any updates on the Naked Mark II run?
Sorry, no, I have no update comments. I'm actually my big problem is Transformers, so I can't just come in and take 30 sets of Transformers from my production. It's just that won't work. So I'm going to try to start like limping them out shortly. All
right, I see how you got to work it.
Yeah.
Ying's a Lynch. Any chance of getting Sykes on the show? Unfortunately,
we keep trying, man. I keep trying. Maybe. You never know. It might happen one day. If I get him on just the right day, maybe I can get him convinced.
Thoughts on the Fender layoffs? Is demand still strong for Friedman?
Demand's still strong for us. I mean, if you look at the Fender layoffs, I mean, yes, there were some higher ups that got axed, but a lot of them were the night shift in Corona. From what I understand, the majority of them were. So, and what is selling for Fender is the low end and the high end and not the mid. So high end custom shop things and higher price things, and then the lower end of their guitars, which are imports, varying import prices. So, I mean, there was a lot of people hired and a lot of demand, and there's stuff during the pandemic, and now it's tapering off, and so things happen, unfortunately, it sucks for everyone involved, but
no doubt. Okay. Yeah. Stephen Douglas was asking about Fender had to lay off 300 people. Yeah.
Yeah. But from what I understand, the majority, I mean, there were some higher ups that got let go, and I could be wrong, but from what I understand, the majority of all those people were left off from the evening. Evidently they were running a 24-hour shift. They're making stuff.
Well, our friends
which I didn't even know,
Our friends that we know there are still safe, right?
Yeah, they're still there.
Okay, good. Brad Cook. Hey, Mark and Dave. Love listening to all the guitar geek knowledge. All the best from Australia. Hey, thank you.
Hey, Brad. What's happening?
Awesome. Mark, lefties for life, dude. Also love my Friedman JJ Jr. combo. Don't know what I'm going to get next. Twisted Sister or a small box? Twisted Sister?
Twisted Sister. That's a new version of the Twin Sister.
Everything's turned to 10. That's the Twisted Sister.
It's all backwards.
Yeah.
All the knobs work in reverse.
Yes. Okay. Well, there you go. It's for lefties. So we call it
for
Twisted.
lefties.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Boogeyman. Is there a difference in voltage, US 120 volt 60 hertz versus EU 230 volts noticeable in sound of amps?
Man, that's really hard to A/B. Although I've been in Europe before and I haven't really noticed that the amp sounds different. So could there be? Yes, but how are you going to really A/B that? I mean, there's a way you could do it with a certain piece of gear, which I don't own, that that can change the hertz and stuff here, but that's not happening.
Michael Nielsen. What's up, dude?
Hey, dude. What's happening?
I hope you're doing well. I miss hanging with you. I wish we could have a drink and hang. He's a great dude. Great guy. And a killer player, too.
Absolutely. Wait till you see this new video.
Oh.
It's coming. You're seeing it shortly.
Steve Stevens. Dave, what's the greatest compliment you ever received?
Oh, that's easy. I got this down. So when I restored Eddie Van Halen's Plexi Marshall and did all the tweaks that I thought from reading and knowing my own research and things that I felt was right, he told me, he goes, "Oh, that's the best it sounded in 20 years." So right then it was like, yeah, that's over. Where do you go from here?
Right, it doesn't matter what anybody else says at that point.
That was cool.
I don't know if you want to do a shot with me, but I'm doing some Robitussin.
Okay. Sure, Robitussin.
That's good soul there. All right. Okay. Let me keep scrolling here. Scrolling for questions. Reza is a career video dude and friends with Dave. Maybe he'd do it. You mean about the
Yeah, I'm not asking him to do that.
Editing video? No, he's a busy dude. Josh Lamas. Dave, what new compressor pedal would you recommend for Super Squash 80 clean chorus tones? I'm afraid of buying old Dynacomps. Think Flesh for Fantasy.
Okay, well, if you like that kind of thing, I mean, a Wampler Ego compressor is great. The Exotic SP compressor is quite good. It's a little tiny thing, and it totally does that Dynacomp squash for sure. Yeah. Or get yourself a vintage Dynacomp.
RAF 5.13. Thank you for the super chat. Evening, guys. Do you like the way the Sin 1 sounds with IRs? No power amp. Asking because some preamp pedals sound farty without a power amp.
No, it sounds quite good. It sounds quite good with IRs. I don't think that's too much of a problem. I mean, unless you're driving a power amp really hard, you're not really getting much out of it. You're not really. It's not really imparting too much on the tone.
Dave, did you lose your smell or taste?
Not this time.
I haven't done that. That hasn't.
The previous time in January, I did.
Yeah, I haven't experienced. My wife had.
I've had COVID twice, so I had it in January, and then I had the newest BA5 one basically right now, or not right now, but like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Although this one was a little worse, to be honest. This was definitely worse than the first one. It got into my lungs a little bit more, and until I'm still kind of coughing up a little bit of stuff, but today was pretty good where I didn't really. So it's on the mend. It's almost completely out of me. Today I felt almost like normal.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, the crazy thing is I got towards the end of the COVID, I got dizzy.
Yeah, you said that before. Yeah, you told me that.
And some people do get dizzy on COVID. And I talked to another client of mine who had it recently, and he goes, "Yeah, man, I felt that. I got that too." It was like concerning. Wow. That's when you get the pulse ox monitor to make sure that you're,
right.
Your level is good. I went and bought one.
Oh wow!
Just to make sure,
Yeah, I remember
those. It was
things.
Kind of a weird thing because when I was having it, I was in higher altitude too, so it was double whammy, So.
Guitar Jedi. Any good modern tube testers, or is it best just to get an old Hickok tester?
No, the one. What's it called? Hang on.
Orange has one, right?
I don't know. The Maxi Matcher. MaxiMatcher.com. I mean, to be honest, that's the really good one. It's not cheap by any means. And if you want the preamp tube, one, that's really not cheap. But I mean, that's what we use for stuff here. I have both of those. MaxiMatcher.com, I do believe. Yes, that's it.
Rick Covria. Dave, do you need a load on the new little mini amps like the slow SLO Mini?
No.
Nope. You're fine. Patrick Miller. What's up, man? Did you guys hear Doug Rappaport's Friedman Strat demo?
Hell yeah.
Playing I'm the One. I did not. Would that?
I think we, or at least we were going to, or maybe shared it on Instagram, maybe Facebook. I don't know. I don't handle that, but it was sent to me. Should we share this? I'm like, yes, we should. So maybe we did.
What amp was he playing out of?
B100.
And he was playing a Friedman Strat.
He was playing Friedman Strat, and it looked like a B100 he was playing out of, and he was ripping Van Halen.
Awesome. Doug's great.
Would that guitar be ideal? I mean, it does. It definitely captures that because the spirit of that is in my DNA. So like everything I do is going to have some elements of that in it. You know.
Our modern 5Y3s, thanks Purposeful Porpoise, not actually true 5Y3s. Heard JJ's and New Old Stock are only true spec 5Y3s right now. All the others raise plate voltage too much. Same with 6V6, which 6V6 for lowest wattage. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye.
You know what? Frankly, 6V6 options are kind of dismal. And as far as the 5Y3, I have no idea because I don't really live in that world and I almost never use that tube. As far as I know, the 5Y3s available are fine. But I've never sat there and actually, you might know more than I do with that one. That's just not something that comes through my wheelhouse often.
Hey, I've got this old RCA 6V6.
Mm-hmm.
But you see that?
The black kind of thing? That's fine.
Yeah. You see how
it still work?
It still works.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, what is that?
Good question. A lot of those old tubes were like that and stuff, and really generally they work still forever.
Okay. Yeah, this came in my Champ.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, the Champ is it's in the shop.
Oh yeah, it died.
Yeah. Well,
good stuff till it died.
Good stuff. It sounded great until it died. And this was the other RCA.
It'll never sound the same again.
This was a 5Y3 that I had out of there also. I replaced them. But they all worked. I'm just going to wait for him to give me back the amp and I'm going to put these back in.
Yeah. See if it fails then.
Yeah, exactly. So that's too bad about 6V6s. They're not too many.
Well, I mean, there's some that exist, but I mean, like 6V6s. So which ones are you going to use? So you had Electro Harmonics that had some, but that's hard to get right now. And then there was JJ 6V6s. So with Electro Harmonics, they were okay. They were pretty good. The JJs can handle really high plate voltage. That's pretty cool. JJs are really rattly in combo, so that's not cool. There's just not a lot of options. It's not like when you say you have EL34s, right? So you have like Mullard, Svetlana, you have PS Vane, you had ones out of China from Shugang, you have JJs, you had Tongue Soul, you had well, I don't know, those 6 or 7 of them right there, just I named. And so you had lots of options, like that, they all sound a little different and they all do a little different thing. 6V6s, you don't have hardly any options. I mean, there's a new China one too, but I don't know how good that is yet. And so, I mean, it's kind of slim pickings there. I mean, if you can get some, NOS ones, that'd probably be good for it.
Drew LeClaire. Hey guys, nice to catch one live. Oh, good. Dave, have you run across the Marshall 6100 30th anniversary amps where the power tube arc over causes the MIDI channel switching to die? Do you have a solution?
Man, I don't have a solution. I understand what you mean. I remember that amp. wasn't the greatest, proudest Marshall moment, that amp. I think they did better later. I mean, there was issues with DSLs too. You know, they had like bias drift issues that they later fixed on later boards, and now you can buy a replacement board for them. And I don't have a solution. That might be, yeah, I don't even know if anyone has a solution for that. Marshall, maybe. Sorry, I don't have a good answer for you.
Okay. Blake Burris. Hey guys, ever thought of having someone on the show who's involved with Alex Van Halen? His drumming is such a big part of VH, and his snare tone is the real Brown sound. That's what they said. Any chance?
I mean, I know one person that was involved with Alex for years, John Douglas, who built all his drum kits and was his drum tech, and who now plays in Aerosmith. He's the drummer for Aerosmith.
They replaced Joey Kramer?
Yeah, that kind of happened.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Remember when that was all going down?
Well, I remember that he had a problem with them like getting in. This was a couple years ago.
I think it's still
then
going on.
Wow, interesting. That sucks. Look, we'd love to have Wolfgang on.
Yeah, I got to revisit that, because I mean, that wasn't a no, that was a yes, but not. He had finished doing promo and stuff, so I'm gonna get with his publicist and see if we can get him on.
We'd love to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, that wasn't a no, it was just not right now.
See, yep, Steak. I thought it was just a silver 800.
Nope, not at all.
And then here's Eric Johnson. I thought it was a 800 plus a diode gain stage.
Nope, not really.
See, we're all fucking wrong. A Synergy Jubilee model might be nice since it's different than an 800.
It's actually not a bad idea. In fact, I was posed some questions about what should be next for Synergy. So, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
If it's really that different of a circuit, wow.
I mean, I threw some stuff out there, like, you know, hey, what should we do? And we're like, there's certain things that are hard to do. You know, like if you're talking like vintage style amps, where you're relying on power amp distortion and stuff, that can be really problematic to try to do in a Synergy format. You know. Because you just can't do it. You don't have the whole amp, you know?
Right. Unless you plan on cranking.
You can kind of maybe simulate it in a fashion. But it's still not truly really that. That's a pretty good idea, actually, though. I like it.
Yeah.
Call it something like this. I don't know. Silver or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it's one of them were already taken by
yeah, the silver. I don't know,
but that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That would sell.
I also said, how about like doing the RG Randall series, the solid state thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. Those are cool amps.
Yeah. Well, you definitely
you ever heard one of those before?
I've never heard one in person.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they had a thing.
They're really tight, right?
They're pretty cool. I mean, they had a thing. The RG stuff had a thing.
Well, that's Steinbag, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, wait. Yeah, maybe originally. That was Lynch too originally.
Oh, okay. Mark's choking. Ah, man.
At least you feel real good, right?
Oh, my head's pounding, and I also, when I was coughing yesterday in bed, I pulled something.
It sounds like COVID to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Modern vintage. Dave, do Alnico creams have any special magnet or anything in particular that make it a $320 speaker?
It has Alnico.
So Alnico is expensive.
Alnico is expensive.
At
least from what I understand.
Super Chicks, what's happening? Hey, Dave and Mark, or Mark and Dave. I hope you're both well. I've seen better days. How would a 2 EV12L and 412 cab sound? Top or bottom loaded? Thanks.
With like some Celestians? You got me. You might have an issue with impedance because you could do it if you got 8 ohm Celestians. Boogie did a Celestion in an EV for years. They did a 90 watt Black Widow or Shadow or whatever it was called, and their EV12L in cabinets for years. I don't know how that would sound. I'm actually kind of curious. Now I almost want to do a cabinet like that. Yeah. I have 2 vintage EVs sitting here, so I'm like, ooh, maybe.
Be heavy as hell, though.
Wait, do I have 2 EVs? I gotta look what I got. I think I bought 2.
Thanks, Super Checks. James Murphy says, respect, Dave. Appreciate the customer service with all the dumb questions I've emailed over the years.
No problem. Keep them coming. It's fine. I'm used to it all now.
Christian Daniel. Hey, Mark, is there a vintage money no problem amp you would buy today? And Dave, is there a new modern amp you would want to buy today?
Wait, yeah. I don't get the vintage choice? I know what my vintage choice would be.
I'd like.
Can I take the vintage choice?
Yeah, but can I go first?
Go ahead. Finish what you're. I'm
gonna go Tweed Baseman.
That's a nice one. Nice one.
Yeah,
I would like, again, because I had it once, a vintage Park 50 watt lead amp in black, actually in red. Let's if there's no question about it, in red. That's what I'd want. Not because it's that much different than anything else. It's just because it looks cool.
Yeah, that they definitely look cool. Yeah. And for me, is there a modern amp I would want to buy today?
Modern amp, shit.
Not really. I mean, I guess the only other one. The only other one that I really have kind of been jonesing for is the Twin Sister, but I know there's something else coming, so I'm just hanging out.
Modern amp.
The Red 7 amps look really cool.
Oh, they're cool.
Yeah,
I heard one that Pete had that he did a video of.
Oh, the other thing for the vintage,
something that really made me want an amp. Okay, so can it be a modern amp but a vintage sound?
Sure.
Okay, so Todd Sharp, the Todd Sharp Jote 20 or something, that amp was amazing sounding.
I've never even heard of it.
In fact, we should have Todd Sharp on.
I've never even heard of his amps.
Todd Sharp was a session guitar player for years, played with Rod Stewart and did everything. I knew him from my Andy Brower days. And he later went on to do Nashville amplifier service in Nashville. And then had his own line of amps now, which sound incredible.
Oh, wow.
So actually, that's a great idea. Let's get Todd on. Todd's awesome.
All right.
Remind me. I can send him an email. It's not for everyone. It's definitely a vintage style amp. But it just sounded so good. Oh, man, first time I heard it, I'm standing there going, "Oh man, that's good. I want it."
Oh, wow.
It's expensive,
What was the style of it?
Hard to say. Hard to put it into words exactly.
Hmm.
I don't even know if I can put that into words. What it is. It's a little different than everything.
Hmm.
It's got a unbelievable sounding reverb in it. Like
Okay.
just like you hear it and you're just like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Hmm.
You know,
I would buy
wait, I got another amp that would be a modern amp I'd like to have that also is more vintage voiced. One of Stevie's Sound City amps. Stevie Fry at Sound City amps.
right. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a bunch of those as time has gone on, and where I'm like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that they would be cool to have. I would want that train wreck.
Oh, like the real train wreck.
The one that Pete had.
Oh my God, I agree
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
I'll go with that for the vintage thing.
Yeah, I think if the money was no problem.
Money was no problem. I want that specific train wreck.
That amp. Yeah. That amp. Just even in video.
That was amazing.
Godlike.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, totally. That was a great question. Thanks.
Someone was saying, can you make that in a Synergy module? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, there's more to it.
It's not going to happen.
This is a good question from Vinny. How are super reverbs different than twin reverbs?
Man, to be honest, all blackface Fenders are almost identical. Sometimes they have mid pots, sometimes they have fixed mid pots. And as far as the power sections, they're very similar. They just would change the output transformer for different, wattages and or speaker combinations that they were doing. But the front end of it, a blackface super and a blackface twin and a blackface deluxe are essentially all the same amp. Minor little things here and there are different, but they're all really the same. It's just the power wattage you wanted out of it. Twin being the highest, super probably being the second. A pro reverb is really a super. It's just with a 212 with a weaker output transformer. So I mean, pro reverb is kind of a sleeper. That's a great amp. And if you change the speakers out to some Celestians, it really gets good. That was the old Mike Landau thing. He used to have a pro reverb, and he ran for years with vintage 30s in it, actually.
Yeah. Barry Provost. Kiesel was Kiesel 1946 to 1949, then changed to Carvin.
That's cool.
Yeah, didn't know that.
I actually didn't know it went that far back.
Me either.
But wow, that's crazy.
I bet you they were cool in 1946 to 1949 as opposed to today. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily fans of, Kiesel.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I mean, I've seen some really cool guitars out of him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've seen some amazing guitars. So I mean, I can't of their business practices or whatever goes on at their thing. I can't really say. I haven't had no dealings with them whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
a lot of people say a lot of things, and I got to say that I've seen a bunch of guitars that are great. So okay. So
it was his reaction when I asked him to be on the show. That I was like, come on, dude. Okay. Yeah. But
what did he say?
He said,
may as well air the dirty laundry now.
He looked at the card and he goes, yeah, man, I'm way too busy to do internet stuff like that. Sorry. And he handed me the card back.
That was dumb.
Yeah. I was like, okay. All right. Thanks, bro.
Well,
you're way too bit.
Hey, Jeff Kiesel, if you still want to come on, I'd be willing to do it.
Okay.
But, you know.
Yeah, if anybody knows Jeff and he wants to come on the show, I'd be happy to have him on.
I mean, I've seen some of the Vader guitars that he did with headless that were. I remember it was always kind of interesting because I always was, like I had sort of dismissed carving over the years, and but several times people have plugged in their later Kiesel guitars into our rigs that I've been involved with, like especially the little short scale, little Vader things, and plugged them in, and where you're like, wow, that sounds great. And you're like looking at it, wow, those pickups sound great. Wow, that sounds great.
And, well, I mean, he had a great booth at NAMM, and the guitars were beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the little Vader like headless, which is not my thing normally, but I mean, I had some artists that had them and had 7-string versions and stuff, and they plugged them into the amps, and they're just like, well, that sounds great. Okay, yep. So something was being done, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Maybe if he.
I mean, they've had their ups and downs over there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know anything about it really.
What is this, Mark? What does your sponsor Sweetwater have to do to get you to buy strings through them rather than from Jeff Bezos? You know why I bought them on Amazon was because I actually had a credit with Amazon. So that's why I got them. But I would normally get my stuff from Sweetwater. Always. I just bought my my EVH Iconic from them. But with true full disclosure, had credit. We have a credit card that we use that gives us points through Amazon, and sometimes I just like to use it. So, but good question. That's a fair question. Calling me out. I got you. Let's see.
I get some more super chats, I think.
I was just talking with Dave about this modern vintage. John Shanks.
Yes, that'll be happen soon.
Yeah, definitely want to have John on. When he was in my car, we talked about it. Friedman Twad Deluxe.
In the vintage line, I would like to do maybe a Fender-esque sort of thing. What that is going to be, I don't know quite yet. My concept is maybe to have a higher powered Princeton. So in the format and the size of a Princeton, but a little more headroom and a little higher power. So it's almost like a deluxe was a Princeton in size. Maybe that might be a concept. But then again, I also got to bring it in. Generally speaking, people don't want to pay too much for clean amps. So got to bring it in at a somewhat reasonable price. And that's harder to do.
Okay.
Everything's harder to do these days at a reasonable price.
Yeah. Adnan Suleiman, thank you. Hey Dave, could the mic no mo be paired with a preamp JMP1 tri-axis? I guess the power amp color would be missing. Any recommendations?
You could definitely pair the mic no more with a JMP1, for instance. It might be because of the padding that we have in the mic no more. It might be a little lower in level. But if you turn up the outputs a good amount, you might be able to get it usable at least to a mic level. And it would sound good. Yeah, for sure. In fact, I've done it before where I took a BEOD pedal into a mic no more into a mic preamp, and I could get enough level with the mic preamp out of the BEOD and the mic no more. The mic no more is ideally suited for speaker level going into it, so it pads it down to a certain extent. But you could still get enough out of it. And surprisingly, the BOD, man, into the mic no more sounded epically good.
Really?
Into the interface. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, really good.
Mark and Dave, what about Zach from Mythos for a show? He's a cool dude and a great builder.
Mythos
pedals? Is that
Mythos? Yeah, I don't know what Mythos is. Pedals, maybe? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that might be an option. Sure. Also, I was talking to hang on. I was talking to, because can't remember anything. Kevin from Iconic Guitars. And Kevin is awesome dude, and we should have him on too. Makes some amazing guitars. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
And he's a really knowledgeable guy and a really cool dude. So it makes him here down in San Diego area or Carlsbad or Oceanside or something. I mean, somewhere.
I think I met him. He's a builder, right?
Yeah, he's great.
He's got a beard?
No, doesn't have a beard.
No, maybe he shaved it.
He might have, yeah, maybe. He's great. Iconic guitars are really, really nice. They also do the BC Rich custom shop guitars.
Oh, do they?
And they do some other companies that maybe he can't say all of. But really high end, really cool guitars.
Yeah, their NAMM booth was cool, and
it was cool, and they're great guitars. So,
Dave, is your LA shop open for trying out and comparing amps after you get well?
Yes, it is, but I don't have much here. So you have to email me and let me know what you're interested in trying out, and so I can arrange to have whatever I need here for you to try out. We don't have much. We don't have really a demo setup anymore here. So
I always wonder this question too. JMP 2204 rocker. How did Marshall pull off the 20-watt amps using EL34s when most others use EL84s? I know Dave runs them hot.
Marshall ran them cool. They were lower plate voltage and cathode biased.
Oh, okay.
They'll never fail in the amp, which is probably good. Yeah.
357 Mag. Thanks, Dave and Mark, for doing Tone Talk, my favorite show. Thank you. I'm getting a Friedman Cali to go along with my small box head. Awesome,
man.
They're
in short supply, so grab them up.
I love my Cali. I got mine right here.
I have several to the right of me,
laying on the floor, because it's
a cool one.
Oh, I love this guitar.
Yeah,
I really do.
It is a cool one.
I play it all the time. It's got the nickels on it, so
cool.
Yeah, which sound good. Yeah, enjoy your guitar, 357. Okay. Demetrius Patton. Hey, Dave, do you know if all the Synergy preamp modules have the same phase per channel? I was thinking about blending two loaded Syn 2s.
They do not. In fact, they will radically change. So no channel and or no preamp is the same phase. If you're planning on blending, you need to have a way to reverse the phase of at least one of the preamps on the fly with a switcher. It can be done. I've done it for I remember when I did Linkin Park rigs, they had two preamps and they were blending things, and I had a phase reverse loop. There's ways of doing it, but no, they're definitely not the same phase. Any multi-channel amp, even if you're blending them, generally the channels are all out of phase with each other. This is a normal thing because the more gain stages you stack on top of, like, every gain stage flips the phase. So say on my amp, say you have a BE channel and you kick it into HBE, it flips the phase.
Really?
And the same thing with, so a BE channel has 3 gain stages. So that means it's out of phase, in phase, out of phase. A Fender channel has 2 gain stages. So that means it's in phase or out of phase, and then in phase. And then a HBE channel is so out of phase, in phase, out of phase, in phase. So this is normal with most, like, channel switching amps and things.
I had
if
no
they're
idea.
kicking in different gain stages. Yeah.
Tom Rains. Hey, Dave, I have a Runt and a Black Star. I like to use them in stereo. What's a good pedal to split the signal?
Are you looking for just a straight split, like not like a stereo pedal per se or something? Like if you're looking for just a straight AB box or something that will split, the Radial Twin Bones AB box, Twin City AB box, it's blue, small, that will split it great, and it has a phase reverse switch on it and everything. So as ground isolation, phase reverse, that'll work perfect. Until I do mine.
Jim Lund, can you describe the difference in the Jake amp versus the BE? What did he want that was different?
Oh man. The Jake amp started because he had a small box, and he essentially used both. Well, he used the plexi channel on it on 10. So that was the core tone. So then he liked the lead channel, but when he ran all the masters on 10, it's a little too much gain, because you're getting all the extra gain from the power section. So then we developed the 100 watt, and the 100 watt on the lead channel for Jake, he would still run the plexi channel on 10, but the lead channel, he wanted a little more gain. So we made it an 800 circuit, which just adds a kind of a low gain tube stage to a plexi, basically. That's the gist of it. So he could turn it on 10 and it would just be a little more gain. The higher gain mode on that amp was just because people are not going to turn these on 10, right? So we needed to come up with something that was a higher gain version for people that weren't going to turn it on 10. So we essentially developed a circuit that would get that kind of tone, but at lower volumes.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was the whole logistics of it. It's different than the BE channel, for sure.
Randy, we should do this in every show. Dave, tell us a Van Halen story.
Okay, hang on.
It's a Van Halen break.
All right, I got a Van Halen story. So, and we're gonna have this guy on the show soon. So, my best friend growing up was a guy named Marty, who runs Motor City Guitars in Detroit, which is an amazing guitar, old school kind of guitar store. They have, they carry all the major brands, and they carry the high end brands, and it's a huge store. It's developed over the years. Everyone in the tri-state area pretty much goes to that store. So I got a call. So I was, what was the story? So, I was in Chicago with Van Halen because something was going wrong or something didn't sound right or something like that. So I got flown to Chicago, and I was there for one show, and then they had a day break, and then they had another show. So after the first show, they said, "Can you just stay on to the next show? Because we just want to make sure everything's cool." Like, okay, sure, it's your dime, you know. So I was there, and we had a good time in Chicago and good time at the shows, and so I flew home, and the minute I get home, pretty much, maybe a day later, I get a phone call, from Ed's guy, Matt, and he goes, "Yeah, man, out of Chicago, they dumped the rack on its face off the truck. And man, can you fly out?"
Oh God.
I'm like, "Okay, where? Oh, we're going to Detroit." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So my best friend growing up, Marty, that I mentioned before, I hadn't really seen or talked to really in quite a long time. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to Detroit." I hadn't even been in Detroit for a while. I'm going to Detroit, man. I gotta look Marty up. And so I'm like, "Ah, shoot, I gotta call the store and I gotta convince him to give him my number and all this crap, you know." So I call the store, and of course he answers. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, great."
Easy
"Dude,
enough.
how are you?" You know, and I go, "Hey, I'm coming out there. You want to come to the Van Halen show?" Of course he does.
Right.
Of course he does. So, he meets me at the show, and I look at Ed's stuff that fell and this and that, and no big deal. It was no, they were just being cautious. It was no big deal.
Right.
So I fixed whatever there was to be fixed, and it was all good. And we go to sound check, and so my friend is with me, because he came early and was just hanging out with me, and he's with me. And Ed comes out, and I'm like, he gives me a big hug. He's like, "Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, blah blah blah." And then I go, "Hey, man, this is my best friend, or pretty much my brother growing up, and he's he lives here, and he's here with me." And he goes, "Oh, great, yeah." And he just goes, Marty goes to shake his hand, but he just goes and gives him a big hug and a kiss. And I just saw Marty's face, and it was just like, okay, because we were growing up as kids, and never in a million years were you going to think that was going to happen,
Right. Right.
So, man, the smile on his face that he got after that, and then Ed walks up on stage and trying the rig and ripping through some stuff, and it's just like he's just like, "Oh my."
Pinch me.
Yeah, I think that made his day, and I think ultimately we want to have him on the show, talk about times past and some of this,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and I think that because it's a major store, it's a beautiful, it's a great store. I'm sure some of you know what it is out there.
Yeah, Motor City Guitars, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, love to have him on. Cars in depth. A lot of old car radios use 6 feet 6 tubes. Did not know that.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, Dave was talking about this earlier. The PS Vane preamp valves.
Yeah, they sound really great. Maybe the ones available now might not be the best for first slot on high gain stuff, but in the other slots, they're great. You know what?
What's up?
Take a question, answer it, but I got to use the restroom.
Okay. We got Super Chicks. Guys, thanks for taking the time to do this show. Love it. Mark, feel better soon, man. Dave, thanks again for your help with everything and having such a big heart. Sharing your knowledge with us is a real gift. I agree. I agree that having Dave do these shows is a real gift because it's fucking awesome that Dave wants to spend this time answering people's questions when he can be doing other things. So I agree. Thanks, Super Chicks. Really appreciate your question or your comment. Let's see. Doug Morriselli. Dave just mentioned the DSL bias drift. Was that an issue with the 50 watt or just the 100 watt? I think it was an issue just with the 100 watt. I had a 50 watt, didn't have that issue, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I'm fairly certain. Hey, Dave, was that DSL bias drift an issue with both the 50 and the 100 or just the 100?
Sorry, what was what?
The DSL bias drift?
Oh, no, there were over the years, there's been for both, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I never had that with the 50, but and Super Chicks just wanted to thank you again for all your knowledge and having a big heart and sharing your knowledge with us.
Thanks so much.
I agree with him. Michael Nielsen said, yes, solid state preamp.
Yeah, right. RG, right? Or something? Maybe, how about a lab series, maybe?
John Deshane, the Silver MILF.
That could work.
I'm going to cough, man.
I think that'd be good.
The Silver MILF. I like that. The Silver Fox. That's funny. Dwight Bailey. Hello, Mark. Hey, what's going on, man? Vinny comes in with the question. Dave, I have a Stereo 250 Mesa power amp.
First problem.
It can take both EL34s and 6L6s. Like this power amp, and any thoughts on how synergy would sound through it? Well, I think you just heard. No, you're not into it.
50. The 50-50 or
250. Stereo
250. It's probably okay. I don't think I've really had a lot of experience with that particular amp. Sounds pretty good. Wait, Stereo 250. What am I not thinking about? So there's the 290. I have experience with that. That's a pretty good sounding amp. I don't have experience with the 250, so I can't honestly tell you.
Okay.
But most likely it sounds pretty good.
Looks like in the chat we got hit by some Bitcoin spam.
Awesome.
Yeah, I tried to delete it too.
Let's go to Bitcoin, everyone.
Yeah. So you
lose your money.
I was going to say lose all your money.
Lose all your money. The time for making money is gone, maybe.
Call the Silver Jubilee module the Sterling.
Ooh, I like that. So it's not a bad idea to do this module. I think that may be a good option.
I agree. I definitely agree. Especially since it's different, because I would have said, oh, well, then it's just an 800 module. But yeah.
No, it's definitely different.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Anything guitars and amps. Hey guys, thoughts on a good noise gate for my small box? I use a lot of gain and higher volume, and it has a loud hiss with volume pot on the guitar off. Thoughts on the Fortin?
I've never tried the Fortin. I hear it's good. I mean, obviously the stuff from Decimator stuff is good. So I mean,
I use the Boss.
Definitely works well.
Boss NS2 in the loop.
If you have a switcher or something, you can switch it out. The The MXR Smart Gate works well. I mean, if you're not, I mean, the stuff from ISP is good.
Okay. Scott Short, yes, I have asked Paul Rivera to come on. I talked to his son. He
What was
said
the answer?
he was going to talk to him, but
let me follow that up.
Okay. Yeah, I asked his son on Instagram, and he said he would talk to him, but
you mentioned me, right? With the show, whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
Because I know Paul's son.
They were focusing on their own show. They said, or
Yeah.
their own thing.
Well, okay, but hey,
yeah,
all is good. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. Let him
Extra promotion. I don't really understand like not wanting to come on and promote your brand.
I agree.
I mean, if you have a brand, you should want to come on and promote it on as many platforms as you can. That's my thought.
I agree.
Yeah.
Randy Price. Have you guys seen Matthew Scott on here on Instagram? That kid's a badass. Perfect blend of Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, in his own style. And Dave did tell us a Van Halen story, so we got that covered.
I did. I told you a good one.
I have not. Yeah, that was very good. I have not heard Matthew Scott, but I check him out.
Yeah, I'll check him out. I mean, I know another badass kid is Taj Farrant.
Oh yeah, Taj is great.
Taj, who is a Friedman artist. He's awesome.
Yeah. Doug Marsoli. Mark, send someone to the drugstore for a home COVID test. Does food taste blah? Some Mucinex and rest will fix you. Also ask Dave if bias drift affected DSL 50 or 100 both. Yeah, we got that answered for you.
Yeah, I mean, both. Like, the bias drift thing, you'll know. Because your amp will fuck up, basically.
I have a COVID test at home. I've got a bunch of them. I've already taken 2, and it was negative, but I'm going to try it again.
Let me tell you, I took 4 when I thought maybe, and nothing. And then I went, literally a couple days later, I went to the doctor. They did a rapid one that they have. I don't know what it is. And instantly. Yeah.
So weird. Yeah.
I mean, it was a little gnarlier this time. I got to say that. It's more nagging, like, when it starts getting into your chest, that becomes a problem.
Right. The coughing is the problem.
And the coughing and mucus and things, that's a problem. Yes, Mucinex does help to extent, kind of, not totally.
Yeah, I should get me some Mucinex too.
It helps. Also eating lemon water, like hot lemon water, like heat up a cup of water, nice and hot, put fresh lemon in. It helps alleviate the mucus.
Yeah, it clears you out.
Things like that. Because the mucus is what the mucus is there for, in your bronchial tubes, is to get rid of the virus.
Right.
It's designed to protect you, and sometimes it overproduces.
Right.
And when it overproduces, which I have a tendency to happen, it's gnarly. I mean, you're hacking stuff up all the time, but at least if it's loose, it's coming up. That's good. But lemon water was my friend, actually.
Huh.
Yeah, hot lemon water, because it just loosens it all up. Or anything with vinegar too. Any kind of salad dressings with heavy vinegar, will loosen all that stuff up.
Huh. All right, good to know. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to take a test before I go to bed. So, and KXM Rock Sweetwater have a used gear website. We talked about that. It's called Gear Exchange. So make sure you guys check it out. Gear Exchange. All right. And Dan, the 5150 Iconic is in the mail. I get it next week sometime, so I'll let you guys know what I think. What are our thoughts on Fryette? We love Fryat.
We love Fryat. We love Stevie. I was on his show recently, and that led to COVID. Actually, all of them got COVID. I actually think I might have had it before then, but it was kind of a coincidence.
Mark, did you buy your Fender Pro Junior yet? Yes, I did. Killer amp. But what I ended up doing is returning it because I found locally a Silverface Champ that really was doing exactly what I wanted. So I returned the Fender Pro Junior. So yeah.
Pro Junior is a good amp, though.
It is a very good amp. I think that for someone who wants to get that for the money to get the Fender sound,
yeah,
that is the amp to get, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got to run soon.
Yeah, we'll just go 10 more minutes and then we'll finish it.
Sounds good. Yeah, Michael Torin. Where's Torin?
Michael.
Oh, there he is. I second the Michael Nielsen live session. Oh, what's that about?
What?
I don't know about some Michael Nielsen live session. Okay.
Please explain. We missed something.
Michael Nielsen says, I'll figure out how to do that. Oh, maybe he'll go live on his channel.
I don't know. Guys, please explain. We missed something.
Yeah.
It's here somewhere, I'm sure, but
Michael Wagner. I'd like to get Michael Wagner on.
We tried.
Did we?
Yeah.
What happened?
He said no. Turned us down, but that was because we'll see again. We could try again.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Well, just so you guys know, the next couple shows that we have coming up, next Friday, Colleen Fazio of Fazio Electronics. Then following after that, we've got Robert Keeley and Andy Timmons.
Awesome.
Who are coming on. And that is August 26th. So I'm getting ready to do the promos for both those shows. Just waiting for some pictures from the folks, and we'll get those made up. So those are the next two shows. Looking forward to both of them. Rick Hollis, what's up, Rick?
Rick, what's up, man?
Make sure you guys check out Rick Hollis's channel also. Would Dave be mortified if I send my Friedman Vintage S to Charles Cilia to put a Strat style output jack on top of the guitar? Side mount jacks suck for morning coffee jams on the couch.
Man, I love Charles Cilia, man. So no, I don't care. Charles is awesome. In fact, Charles is a guy we should have on because he makes unbelievable guitars.
Huh.
Australian builder, makes impeccable guitars. I have one of them. And it doesn't get nicer.
Wow. Okay. That's a high compliment.
In fact, remind me about that, Mark. I will send that off and we will get Charles on because Charles is amazing, man.
Okay.
Just like killer guitars. Crazy maple tops, like insane.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
I have a semi-hollow from him I can show on the show if we do it with him. And and it is Bitcoin. Look at this shit.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah, fuck them.
Why don't they send us a super chat and I'll mention you guys.
Right.
Come on, Bitcoin, send us some money. Yeah, we've tried Matt Bruck. Maybe one day.
Maybe I can convince. I'll keep trying.
One day, maybe these people will decide to do interviews now that unfortunately Ed has passed.
I'm trying to see what was said about what with Michael.
Yeah. I gotta fix myself here. My shorts are cramping my style. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They're riding me.
Did we God. I have to get to the end. Okay.
Vinny, I think I got to your super chat.
There's some other super chats though.
I know. I got to get to them. Me again, guys. RAF 5.13. Dave, do you know how Fryette could do that wonderful deliverance module with only 2 tubes since the head has 5 preamp tubes?
Well, you gotta remember that there's probably in the head, there's probably a phase inverter tube. Don't need that. So it throws one out, down to 4. And then you maybe I can't answer that. Let's get Stevie on and we'll have him answer that. Essentially, with a synergy, you have one. I mean, technically,
There's tubes in the
each tube is half. So technically, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stages of gain. So I have no idea what he did, and I'm not going to even pretend to know. So,
but remember the synergy the rack unit itself has tubes in it. Also.
Yeah, one stage.
Okay.
So, we would have to ask him.
Okay.
Which I think is a good idea. We should have him on again.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since we've had.
It's been a long time, and we could talk about stuff.
Yep. More guitars, thank you. Oh my God, does it get any more interesting than Dave giving the backstory on the Jake E. Lee fucking 100-watt head? I agree. Awesome. It could listen to this stuff.
That is the exact story that I gave. It was exactly the scenario. Now, I mean, when you're making an amp for everyone, obviously they're not going to run it on 10. So he is, but no one else.
Stay Curious wants to know, what's that blue guitar on your wall? That is a Ibanez RG 550 signed by Steve Vai.
That's cool. Yeah. When did you get that signed?
I sent him the back plate on the guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
And he signed it for me.
That's nice.
Yeah, really nice. Steve was one of the nicest guys, and Steve Lukather also. Those two guys, some of the nicest people I've ever met.
They were. Steve Vai is a very, very nice guy and very cool.
Him. Just humble. Very low key. Yeah. No ego.
No.
Seriously. Zeke Downey, thank you. Hello, love my BE 100 Deluxe. I know I can get a JJ tones from it, but still long for a JJ 100. What do you think, Dave? Love the show, guys.
Well, you can get JJ tones from it, but if you love the look of the JJ 100, well, you should have both.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or get the junior.
Just get both. Isn't that a t-shirt slogan?
Yes, I've been meaning to do that. Just get both.
Just buy both.
Just get both. Okay. Dave, what matters most in an amp's design to keep it tight but still have a lot of low end?
Well, when you cascade gain stages from gain stage to gain stage, you can't have a lot of low end because it starts mucking it up. So it's better to add the low end later in the power section. So when you're cascading the stages, they don't get like this flubby thing. A lot of that's been done, over time. A lot of companies, even Diesel and stuff, have, kind of kept the low end out of the front end, It also gives a better feel. Because when the gain stages are kind of, shall we say, let's put it simply, tripping over each other, like you're stumbling down a hill, so to speak. It just doesn't really add to sustain, so to speak.
Gotcha. Jason Tong, I agree with you. It's a no-brainer to go on Tone Talk.
Jason, man, thanks for all the stuff you've done. Like for people, Jason's done some repairs and things for people that are in Australia, because getting repairs there is a problem. And thank you. He's fixed up a couple amps for me. And thank you for that.
Trevor Norse. Dave, I'm looking forward to receiving my second Friedman amp tomorrow. Twin sister combo. My first is your BE50 Deluxe. Just amazing work you do for us tone lovers. Thank you.
Oh, cool, man. I enjoy your combo. If you got any issues, let me know. I'm sure you will. Everyone lets me know if there's an issue.
Hopefully there's no issues.
But stuff happens with tubes and things, just like normal. But we strive to be perfect, but it's just impossible.
Brad, thanks, man. RSV symptoms are very similar. I don't think I have RSV.
RSV.
My daughter had RSV.
What is RSV?
It's a respiratory condition.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure what the RSV stands for. But yeah, I don't think I have that, but thank you. If it gets any worse, I will go see a doctor. I'm actually going to see for my my that just happened to be my yearly checkup is on Thursday. So if I still feel like shit.
Well, there you go. I have a doctor appointment on Thursday also.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll call each other and let us know how our old man problems are.
God. Trust me. Like I have a guy that works for me, Jamie, and like, he just had his first colonoscopy. And of course, we're discussing that. And I'm like sitting there looking at him and go, man, this is old man problems.
Yeah, exactly.
And none of us care what we're discussing either.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and I did this and that. And you're just like, yeah, I know, I had that too. Yeah, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just like I'd like shake my head and just go, man, I gotten old.
Yeah, this is what we talk about.
Yeah.
Waterford Giant, thank you, man. Did you connect with Ferrand and his Kiesels during his U.S. shows? And for all you out there, get your boosters. Yes. Did you connect with Ferrand when he did his U.S. shows?
Nope.
You know what I'm talking about. What's his name? The guy from Australia.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, I talked to him a few times because he had one problem with his amp that we got sorted when he was out. But I didn't actually get to see him this time. We missed each other.
Gotcha. Yeah. James Maurer, I hope you guys are well. Dave, just curious on your thoughts on the Helix floor in terms of tone and features.
Man, I gotta say that. I mean, the Helix floor is quite good. I mean, I mean, the Helix stuff is good. I mean, they did a pretty convincing model of a BE amp in it, and I gotta say, I like it. It's pretty good. I'm not one for too much for pages of stuff, like I want to turn a knob, like more treble, less treble, boom, knob, boom, there.
Right.
As opposed to where's the treble? Where's the bass? You're like paging through things. But Helix has done a good job. I mean, they did a good job with stuff, and they've made some good products. So, I mean, I can't really fault it.
Yeah. Mark Becker, thank you. My JCM 900 DR makes a loud, high whistle on both channels, whether a guitar is connected or not. When I turn the volume past 6, it gets worse the more I crank it. The tech didn't find anything. Any ideas?
So, whether the guitar is connected or not. So, did the tech not hear this? I don't know. Hard to say without hearing it, being in it, seeing it, no ideas.
Oh, by the way, yes, Bill Landry.
Unless you're getting RF into your amp, where it's just bleeding into your amp. And I mean, I could tell if you send me a video of the sound, I could tell if it's RF or not. Easy. I mean, if you're getting something from a modem or something like that, by far, yeah, that maybe that's why the tech didn't find anything.
All right, reach out to Dave.
Yeah.
Well, first, before I go there, Tone Dragon, Dave and Mark, thoughts on the Diamond Memory Lane Jr.? I've never heard of it.
The Diamond Memory Lane. There we go. Was a cool. I don't know about the Junior, but I mean the big original one was a cool analog delay. I'm assuming the Junior is just a smaller version of it. I'm sure it's quite good, actually, because the original was good.
Okay.
But I don't have any direct experience with it.
I did reach out to Bill Landry, and he has agreed to come on. I just need to schedule him sometime in September. I've asked this question too. How long is the VH NDA? Hopefully, people will start talking. I'd love to hear some stories. I understand that. Oh God, what's his name now? I'm totally drawing a blank. He did an interview with Sunset Sound just recently. Not Ted Templeman, but
Don Landy.
Don Landy.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did an interview. I didn't see that.
It hasn't been published yet.
Oh, okay.
But I heard that they wrote that he has come in for the interview.
Shit, man, I want that interview.
I know. I want to see that too. Right?
Yeah. No, I want him on the show.
Oh, I'd love to have him on the show too, but that'll never happen. But yeah, he's going to be on Sunset Sound. So,
joy.
Let's see. Karen Bassat. Mark, I had this issue on a Fender Reverb. It was a bad tube. I tapped the tubes. One was microphonic, replaced it, problem gone. Okay. I'm not sure which issue you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's normal. You had a microphonic tube.
Yeah. Let's see. I think we got a couple more super chats before we run. Timothy Pierce. Thank you, man. Hello, David Mark. How about bringing on Mike Learn or Lee Garver?
I'm sorry, but I don't know who those people are.
Me either. I apologize.
Enlighten me, because I might be missing something.
I'll have to look him up. I don't know. I've heard Mike Learn is definitely a name I've heard. I just don't know who it is.
I think both the names are things I've heard, but I don't know who that is.
For some reason, Lee Garver reminds me of a baseball player, but I know that's not true. So, Jim Becker, what's up, man?
Hey,
Miss
man.
you. I haven't seen you in a few years. Hey, Mark and Dave, long time. Yes, it has. Dave, you probably have been asked this a bunch. Will there be a solid state amp line to get younger players in the Friedman camp, much like PRS did with the SE line? Isn't that kind of the mini?
Oh, I mean, that maybe is the mini, the Friedman mini that exists. I guess. Yeah, that would be that. Is there going to be a cheaper thing? Probably not. Although that price did come down a little on those. We're just not a company that does like these, super cheap amps that, Black Star-ish kind of things with effects built in and things like that. Right. That would be all fine and dandy, and that would be cool, but it's just not our wheelhouse. That's not.
So he's saying bigger than the mini series is really what he means. So
yeah, probably not. The mini series is problematic a little bit because you have a cool amp that's in a wood head shell, which sets it apart from everything that's cheap. You know what I mean? because you're getting this like cool little wood head shell, and you're getting this cool little thing. And you know, a lot of people say, well, I can get this black star and this and that for this, and yeah, it's all plastic, and it's all, you know, it's a piece of plastic, and
Right.
it's not, doesn't really have the cool part, you know. Like the idea originally with the head was give it a wood head shell and make it like a little baby cool thing.
Right.
And that was the whole idea. It's done reasonably well. It could have done better, but
Really?
yeah.
I thought you guys sold out.
Well, initially we did really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Soldano version of it that's really cool also.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, collect them all.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I reached out to Steve and Elo to get one.
Yeah. Yeah, Soldano was cool.
Yep. Alex B, I think you're the last super chat before we got inundated with Bitcoin chats. Dave, what are your thoughts on the impact of tone and feel when you run through a digital effects unit like a Helix that has no drive-through or no parallel mixer?
Well, obviously, if you had a drive-through or parallel mixer, it would be better. That would depend on the unit you're talking about exactly. I mean, sometimes the conversion is really quite good, and you don't really notice anything, and the latency is good, and it's not that bad. Other times it can be not good at all. So I prefer analog drive path for sure. Like, you know, like a Boss, a DD500 has an analog drive path. Strymon stuff has an analog drive path. Bunch of other stuff as analog drive path. You can always use an external mixer, like the Musicom Labs Paralyzer. By the way, I actually have a bunch of those that I can sell people. That's a great little unit for doing parallel mixing and switching, and it's MIDI. So if you don't know about that, look it up. It's really cool. And like I said, I do have some here in stock. So if you're interested, let me know.
Okay. Steve Quaid, Mark, how did you get to know Dave? And to Dave, what has been your proudest moment in your career? I love the show. Thanks, guys. How I got to know Dave. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. Leftover COVID. I met Mark on another show, another person's show that Mark was a co-host on, and he left that show. And then we were in contact still, and I go, "Hey, why did you leave that show?" And you know, he explained his reasoning, and I'm like, "Maybe we could do a show." But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I can't do the logistics of it. You have to like basically host it. I just don't have that kind of time or mind space to be able to do that right now. I'm too busy with my normal everyday stuff. So we started Tone Talk. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
And so, you know, and
over 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been going. We have a lot of shows. We've done a lot of stuff, and it's been fun. And we keep going, and we keep trying to bring you people that you want to hear and see. And then we do these, you know, Ask Dave shows, which is basically you just abuse me with questions, and that's fine because I welcome it.
You've been your proudest moment. Dave,
the proudest moment would have been the thing I explained earlier with the Eddie Van Halen amp.
Yeah.
So go back and watch that, and you'll get the answer.
Leonard Rodriguez, Adam Reaver of FU Tone. Can you get him? Adam is always welcome to be on the show.
I would love to have Adam actually if he'd like to come on.
Yep, Adam's welcome. I'm not sure if he's a big fan of mine, but I like Adam and would like to have him on the show. So
Yeah.
if you guys want to have him on, tell him you want him on. And
Yeah, we'd be happy to host him.
Yep. So let's see. Anybody else? Once again, Dave, your hair looks awesome. Which gel did you say you used? Chris Peach.
Lay right, super hold.
Lay right, super hold.
Yeah.
All right. Timothy Pierce, David
And
Mark.
a little hairspray.
Mike learned paints. What'd you say?
And a little bit of hairspray.
Oh, Mike learned paints custom shop guitars for Jackson Charvel.
Oh, yeah, that's where the name comes from. Okay.
And and Lee Garver owns GMW.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
GMW, someone said, what's GMW? They're a guitar brand.
GMW Guitar Works, right?
Yeah.
They've been around a long time.
And thank you. I think we make a great pair as well. It's been a
Some people might disagree.
I know,
but you know what? Fuck them.
I say fuck them. Exactly. Big fuck you to anybody who doesn't.
You guys got to understand, Mark does a lot of back stuff with this stuff. You know, like he books the guests, he does the tests. I mean, Mark goes out of his way to make this happen. So this wouldn't happen without Mark. So if you don't like it, fuck you.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, and with that, let's see. Let's see. You 3 YouTube shows in no particular order: Tone Talk, The Malcontents, and Uncle Doug. I would say.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, the Malcontents are like this fucking no holds bar fucking mess that I like. I like it because of that.
Yeah.
When I was on there, it was just like, wow.
The topics were flying.
The topics were flying left and right. You know, you don't know what you're going to get with that. That is a very niche show.
Yep.
Which I love. I love it. I love it for that. I've known Stevie so long, and I love him. So, he's a good friend of mine. So please go watch the Malcontents if you get it.
Yeah, great. Definitely watch. Yeah. Mark, did you get to think you'd get to know all these people you've met because of Tone Talk? L. Scott Music. Great question. The answer is no. And my wife actually says that I actually made it to the music industry this way because I wasn't able to do it from a musician point of view. And I love it. It's to be able to do this, talk with Dave, meet so many great people, Robert Keeley and Andy Timmons and Steve Vai and Steve Lukather, and the names go on.
Yeah, it's great.
That I've been able to meet in these 6 years. Yeah, I mean, thanks to Dave, it's amazing. I never thought I'd be able to do it, and I'm very, very lucky.
I mean, the same thing goes for me. In my career, I sit back and think when I was a kid, in Detroit, and my friend Marty and I from Motor City Guitar were going to see shows, and we would see every rock show that was through Detroit, which Detroit was a major hub. So
right.
You literally every tour would come through Detroit, and of course, we in the days when you had to wait for tickets outside the record store,
mm-hmm.
We were out there in the middle of the night, waiting for tickets and shit. And man, to come full circle,
mm-hmm.
and to think about the fact that now I've worked for almost every person that I ever idolized or saw,
right,
is kind of crazy when you think about it.
It is. Mind blowing.
It's kind of mind blowing. It's like, you're John Sykes and the Warren D. Martinis and the Eddie Van Halen. Well, Eddie fucking Van Halen, motherfucker, Eddie Van Halen.
Right.
And so many more that I just didn't mention right there. Of guitar greats that I've worked for over the years, and it's humbling. It's interesting because I'll every once in a while just get this little tinge of, when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm standing right in front of Warren D. Martini right now, and he's playing through this amp and that I just worked on, and
yeah. Well, dude,
he's playing in the room
that day when I met Warren.
Yeah,
I was just sitting.
Yeah.
And watching him play, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening.
Exactly. Like, so it's the same thing when the first time Eddie Van Halen, and you're seeing Eddie Van Halen on his worst day was fucking epically great.
Yeah.
And when you if you just start thinking about when you were a child, I've come so far,
right,
and I've done so much, and that's a really interesting. I mean, everyone almost. I mean, I'm just like not like Jimmy Page,
yeah,
not
Jeff
a few others, but mostly every guitar guy I ever. Joe Perry, George Lynch, Warren D. Martini, John Sykes, Akira Takasaki, Eddie Van Halen, Jakey Lee, Zach Wilde.
Yeah. The list goes on.
And the list goes on, but all the greatest guitar players ever I've had a chance to work for.
It's amazing.
And when I think about it, even now, as I'm saying this, I'm like going, damn, that's cool.
It is,
because I never thought, as a kid, I didn't know that, that was going to happen.
And if someone had told you, you wouldn't have believed it.
No. Well, I mean, no, not at all.
Right. It's crazy. Let's see. Was there any? Ben Coombs. Mark's met me. Nothing to brag about. Hey, you're a great guy, Ben. And make sure you guys check out Ben's show also. Ben's a great guy.
I don't even know what show he has. What show does he have?
Oh, Ben is he's the moderator for Pete Thorne's show also.
Oh well, yeah. Okay.
And Ben has his own show called Canucks with Guitars.
Oh, okay.
He's a Canadian, like
there you go.
Let's see. Paul Reed Smith is not coming on the show. I'll tell you that.
That was a no.
But that's okay. Still like his guitar. He makes a hell of a guitar.
Absolutely.
And all right, so guys,
well, someone says I got to get Zach on the show. I'm working on that. No problem. That probably will happen.
Oh, my wife's going to Dunkin' Donuts to get some donuts. Sweet.
Wait, what time is it?
It's 11:30, 11:22.
And she's going to Dunkin' Donuts now?
She's running out with my son. I guess I think it was a donut time.
Donut run.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, make sure you guys check out Ben's channel and
please
check out Sweetwater and fixpedalboards.com. Next guest, like I said, is Colleen Fazio of Fazio Electronics. Colleen is super cool. She works on amps and's got a cool channel. Make sure you check out her. And then we've got Andy Timmons and Robert Keeley on August 26th.
That's going to be awesome.
Can't wait for that. So you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to go suck on a Vicks and eat a donut.
Awesome.
All right, man. Have a great night, guys. Take care.